Hello and welcome. My name is Shadowrasher and today I am here talking about what has changed in the first Descendant after the Season 1 release and all the fun information, new stuff that we can get our feet wet with. I don't know where I was going with that if I'm being entirely honest. So obviously the first and most important thing that came in this new update is the new Descendant herself, Haley. Now, this won't be a comprehensive guide of what her abilities are, as I haven't actually tried her out, but she does definitely seem to be more geared towards a weapon platform style. She has her own exalted weapon, and also her third ability does also seem to give her buffs to weapon DPS, but also buffs to her ability DPS as well. Additionally, in this new update, as this is the Season 1 update, we also have the new missions, the invasion missions, which is the first real which is the first end game content that I think we'll probably be seeing a lot more of as the game progresses and we'll be getting more seasons. And I have actually a lot to talk about. I have my thoughts on these invasion missions as well. But first, I should talk about what they are. So the first one works in a way that there is a door with 3 different colors on it, and on the floor there'll be a bunch of different platforms around the area, each with a different color. However, you won't be able to see the color of the platforms until you stand on the main platform that will be floating in the air, I'm sure you'll be able to see in my gameplay footage. I'm probably showing it in the background as I speak. If you stand on the main platform, you'll be able to see what the colors of each of the individual platforms are. Basically, you want to stand on the correct platforms with the correct colors associated with the door, and until it's fully recharged. And once all 3 are charged up, you can go through the door. Beware though, there are enemies that will be able to lower down the charge you've already built up on the platform, so you have to do it somewhat quickly. And you have to do this twice before you get to the boss. The boss has an interestingly and also similar mechanic. The boss will have a shield around it that will have a certain color of it, and you will have to stand on the platform with the correct color. This time around, though, the platforms will just show the color. You won't have to stand on any other platform to show the color. You'll just be able to see it. Standing on that platform will then allow you to deal damage to the shield and break it. Once the shield is broken, you'll have a set time to damage the boss's health bar and do as much damage as possible before the shield will come back. It doesn't have any second phases or anything. The boss will just have 1 phase. You just need to kill it fully with however much time you have. If you can kill it in one go, it's done. If you run out of time and don't fully complete its health bar, you'll have to break its shield once again. The second type of mission is a bit different and a bit more annoying if you ask me. Basically, the way it works is there'll be a bunch of drones flying around the area with a set order of symbols above them. There will also be a bunch of pillars which have each different 4 squares on the pillars that are all covered by these infested globs. Basically, you have to use your weapons to destroy these infested things covering the markers, and the pillar will show you one, if not will show you one at most, but they could also show you nothing of the symbols that you need to find which the correct drone is, and it'll also show you what the order is from top to bottom. So the highest symbol, if you get one of the highest symbol, is going to be the first one, and if you get a symbol in the bottom square, it will be the last symbol. And you can see the order on the drones because it's left to right, and also there are little circles above the symbols on the drones, which shows you the order. 1 circle means the first one, 4 circles mean the 4th one, basically, right? So basically, you want to go in and uncover what these are. Once you've got what the 3rd symbol is, you don't have to pop the 3rd infested thing on the other pillars then, because you only know what the 3rd symbol is, and it's not going to change. It's always the same each time around. And then once you've gotten at least 3 symbols, you should be able to figure out what all 4 symbols are on the drone. You have to find the right drone, activate it, which will start this big explosion, and you have to stay in the drone area, otherwise I think it will team wipe you. And then once that's done, the drone will be destroyed, and any enemies in the area will also be destroyed, and it will drop a specific weapon. This weapon will have 6 shots, and you will use it to break these little eyeball things that are on the doors, and there'll be 3 eyeballs on each of the doors, and it takes 3 shots to destroy 1 eyeball, which means you only be able to destroy 2 eyeballs with 1 version of the gun, so you actually have to do it twice to get through 1 area. And then you have to do that twice before getting to the boss. And the boss works basically the exact same. It has a shield around it that can only be broken by this gun. And again, it takes 3 shots of this gun to break the shield. And you get the gun the same way, figure out what the order of the symbols are for the drone, activate the drone, blah, 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 blah. Once you've broken the symbols, you can then use your normal weapon. Broken the boss's shield. You use your normal weapons to attack the boss within the time you have. Like with the other version of this, the invasion missions, it has a set time before the invasion missions. Before the boss will get its shields back, and you have to go back to all through the rigmarole. In the third game mode, you have to basically just run around, kill enemies that will drop these canisters that you can pick up. You can pick up to 15 of them. And once you pick them up, you have to return them to this weird, unique thing that will fill up by a certain amount. It's similar to a game mode that's already in the game where you kill enemies, they drop the items, you have to pick them up. But in that case, you have to hold E to pick them up, and you can only carry one at a time. In this case, you just pick them up by walking over them, and it will destroy the item. When it destroys the item, you'll be able to destroy the device that is on the gate that stops you from passing it. So obviously you have to do that twice again, which brings you to the boss. The boss is protected by a similar device that's also on the gate that stops you from passing in the previous two areas, and you destroy it the same way. You pick up all the canisters by killing enemies, put them in the device, then you can destroy it, and once you destroy that device, the boss will now be able to be damaged, and you'll have a set time to be actually able to damage the boss. So either you have to do it multiple times, depending on how long it takes you to actually kill the boss, or you do enough damage to the first time around to kill them in one go. So those are the invasion missions, but why do the invasion missions? So the invasion missions are very specifically linked to Haley. This is because Haley is a bit different from all the other Descendants. Well, every other Descendant has like a catalyzed blueprint and all this stuff. Haley has multiple stabilizer components or reinforcement cell DNA and all this stuff. You can see I need 36 of each of her parts to get her. And these invasion missions drop these parts. They have a guaranteed chance to drop at least one of them, and they are time-centered. So you can either do gold, silver, or bronze. If you get a gold, you'll get 3 of whichever drop you manage to get. If you get a bronze, it's 1. Silver will be 2. So the faster you do it, basically, the more you'll get. And you do these missions basically to get Haley. The other reason why you do these missions is for this. This is somewhat of a seasonal perk tree, and you unlock the energy or the seasonal points to unlock different perk skills by getting Ironheart particles. Each invasion mission will drop 500 Ironheart particles per run. And when you get enough Ironheart particles, you'll get 1 energy, which you'll then be able to use to buy different ones of these perks. As you can see, there are 5 perk trees, and each one has 4 perks plus this last perk here. Now, according to the patch notes, if you have this last perk, you actually are able to have the entire perk tree activated at once, because you can actually only have 3 skills at once. But I believe if you say have this skill as one of your 3 skills, this accounts to all the effects of all 4 of these. So I'm not entirely sure, obviously, because I haven't tested it out. Honestly, none of the perks I've seen so far look like they're that good. But I definitely still recommend investing into it, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of builds you can make with this. Which areas are actually being infected by the invasions right now can be clearly seen on the map by the glowing red markers, and they're set on a daily reset. And each day there'll be 2 new invasion areas, and they will take up one of the current operations in normal operations within the area. To actually start the invasion mission, you can go to the operation terminal in Albion, located right here. And you click on the hard mode invasions, and you'll be able to click on the invasion operations. Clicking on one will still give you the option to do the regular operation, as so, but you'll also be able to do the invasion mission, which will drop the special rewards. Each invasion mission will offer up to 1,000 Ironheart particles, and doing them each time will give 500 Ironheart particles, no matter of which tier you get, bronze, silver, or gold. This means you can only actually do the mission successfully twice, and then you can't do it any more times, as you can only get a maximum of 1,000 Ironheart particles, and that works for both. So that's 4 invasion missions a day, 2 times for each one. Additionally, other ways to get Ironheart particles is you can go into one of the different fields, and you will have this little option down here. And it will give you a set number of challenges that will reward different Ironheart particles. And each field has this, so you can go to White Knight Gulch and you can have the same thing as well. So you can complete the mission that it gives you, and you'll get the 450 Ironheart particles that it will give you. The invasion missions are also only solo, and this honestly makes no sense to me because the game is obviously a multiplayer centric game as it is an MMO. And the fact that they're solo doesn't really make any sense to me, especially if this is going to be what we believe to be the main kind of end game grind we can see in the game going forward. The biggest reason why this doesn't make a lot of sense to me is because, first of all, both game modes are actually really good when encouraging team play between a squad. So I don't know why you would set up a game mode that works really well and encourages team play with a squad and then make it solo only. Because it's much more enjoyable to play with people and actually have engagement with a squad and actual coordination with a squad. Even if it had no public matchmaking, I would understand it a bit more, but at least allow you to have pre-made squads. Especially because when I'm playing this game, I want to be able to play with my friends, and these missions now stop me from playing with my friends, and that just seems like a massive lost opportunity and just poor design, if I'm being entirely honest. Next up, we have the new Battle Pass. So the new Battle Pass is out and it comes with a brand new Ultimate Weapon. You can, of course, get the Ultimate Weapon for free, but if you want to fully upgrade the Ultimate Weapon, you will need to buy the Battle Pass. Honestly, the other rewards that come in the paid Battle Pass aren't very impressive. I honestly think the paid Battle Pass needs much better skin options than the regular Battle Pass do. Especially because the Battle Pass shop, which is free, actually has some really cool skins. Especially this Valby skin here, I really, really like. And then this bunny skin here, I also really like. And this is another cool bunny skin as well. And this card effect is also really, really cool. And these are all free. So it doesn't really make sense to me that the best cosmetics from the Battle Pass are all from the free Battle Pass shop, while the Battle Pass rewards themselves that actually cost money to get are honestly pretty bad. Really, the only reason why you would want to get the paid Battle Pass would be to be able to fully upgrade the new Ultimate Weapon that you get from it. Additionally, besides new content, we also got a bunch of user quality of life fixes with the game, which have been very, very welcomed. Festival operation missions have been changed, so now they're made quicker. So any previously kind of time-gated kind of mission that you have to do in operation has been removed and been replaced with more exterminate type missions in order to make the whole experience going through different operations faster. XP changes have also come. Killing enemies will now give a 1.5 the XP they normally did. Additional special ops will now give 2 times the XP they normally did, except for the block Kuiper missions, the ones in Sterile Land, for example, which will only give 1.5 the amount of XP they did per round. This is because it is a shorter mission. There are also quite a few. There are also design changes to reactors, which is very awesome. Now the reactor will not just visually show you what element it is set to by, obviously that's toxic, that's electric, but the different attributes. So for example, fusion or tech will also now be showed by the shape. So the original look that you would have from the old reactors are now tech reactors. The circle look are fusion reactors. This triangle look or pyramid look are the dimension reactors, and the singular reactors are this nice diamond. So that is also a massive improvement there to the user interface, so it's now easier to see what exactly the reactors actually are at first glance. External components also have an increase in the way they look. Regular components will now actually show you what they do. So for example, this is a main stat health component, and this is a main stat defense component. So they will actually show on them what the main stat for the component is. The specific set components don't do this, but that's because their main stats are always the same. For example, the Annihilation Auxiliary Port is always going to be defense. Additionally, it's now easier to see how your storage is broken up, because not only does it tell you what your storage actually is if you hover over it, but it will tell you specifically how much of your storage is taken up by weapons, how much of it's taken up by reactors, and how much is taken up by external components, which is another massive increase to the user-friendliness of the game. There's also now a better filtered junk option. You can now specifically decide what kind of options you want to filter as when you filter them as junk, and even filter them based off their substats, which is what we have here. So now when I go in and I click the designate all as junk option, only the items that I have designated in my filter as junk will be designated as junk, which can make the farming a lot easier. Say you're after an external component with a specific substat, you can say designate all as junk except things with that substat, and then you can just get rid of everything, and then you can search through things only with that substat. This is a massive improvement, and I can't believe we've got this. This is awesome. I love it. Additionally, the money menu has changed a bit now. When you actually go into the money menu, you have two options. You can actually see what all of your mods are, and then the second option will tell you what each of your socket types are, including if you have multiple sockets in a single mod slot. The crafting menu has also received a change. Instead of there being different types of ways to craft an item with different amount of things to craft them, you can simply click on them, and then you can set how many of that item you want to craft. So you can set 1, 4, 20, and so on. You are now capable of checking the last mission's result in your pause menu, or after completing a mission, you will have the option to check the last mission's result. You won't have to rush to check your mission results for that duration that it has at the bottom. Even if that's gone now, you'll be able to still check your last mission's result in the pause menu, which is, again, a great fix. There's also been some improvements to void shards and how to get them, as well as reactors. Now, whenever you do a void fragment, it will drop exactly the amount of void shards you need for the reactor. As you can see, this drops 45 monomer. And the void reactors now only consume one type of void shard instead of two. As you can see, it consumes 45 monomer, just like the amount you get from this fragment. Additionally, it will no longer consume the void shard upon activating the reactor. It will only consume it upon opening the amorphous material. So if you're not actually farming the amorphous material, and say you're farming maybe an augment or a gold mod from the reactor, you can do it over and over again without having to farm any of the void shards. There have also been some changes to a few Descendants. We have seen some changes to Blair, Jaber, and Ajax. I'm not entirely familiar with any one of these Descendants, so the changes that they have been given, I can't really speak that much on because I don't really know how that kit was previously. Jaber, however, because I did give it a glance, Jaber, however, seems more like minor bug fixes than actual buffs, where Blair and Ajax seem to get more buffs. There are obviously also a bunch of other little buffs, bug fixes, and all the smaller improvements here and there in the patch section that I won't be covering in this video, but if you are interested in seeing what they are, I would recommend checking out the patch notes for yourself. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this video helped you keep up to date with everything that is new in the First Descent. I hope to be making these videos more whenever there's an update to this game, and until next time, bye-bye!